let's move on. Got that one. Okay, another way to show people the impact of risk is a risk cost calculator. This isn't something I developed. One of the people I work with in Australia, Howard Witt, who's a reliability engineer, showed us this particular technique. But what we've done here is we've actually looked at a breakdown situation and said, okay, we've got a scenario developing. If the scenario goes to the worst case of a breakdown, there will be a cost to do the odd job as an urgent situation. There'll be cost to plan and schedule that work and buy the parts in, and there's a cost of lost production. So if there is a breakdown, we can get a cost from these events and effects. Before that happens, we can say, well, what are our choices? If we repair this as soon as possible, as in give it to us this afternoon, what's the cost of that choice? Okay, if we're going to do this ASAP, it'll cost us $2,000 to divert resources to prepare for it. We're going to have to rush parts together and get things happening very, very quickly. You're going to be down for the afternoon, $50,000 loss. So it could cost you, if we act this afternoon, $58,000. If you wait 1 week, because now we've waited 1 week longer and the breakdown must be getting closer and closer because the time's disappearing, okay, we have no urgency cost. We don't rush guys and change resource allocation, but there will be a cost to plan and prepare and order the parts. Again, you're going to be down for half a day. So wait for a week to $50,000. But of course, the chance of a breakdown is increasing. If I do it this afternoon, unlikely to fail. There's an odds. You know, the curve might drop away quite quickly, but unlikely. I wait a week, yeah, now must be increasing in time. Guess what? There's a shutdown coming up in 4 weeks' time. If we can massage this plant across for 4 weeks, then the cost of doing the repair then will be the planning and scheduling and procurement cost, and the actual outage, it's already an outage. It won't be additional cost of downtime. It's already planned outage. Could be as little as $5,500. Except 4 weeks away, the odds are now 50-50 we're going to make 4 weeks. But if we do, only $5,500. But if anywhere along that line, along that timeline, anytime we don't make it and it breaks down, we're going to lose $300,000 plus. So from this risk chance assessment, and of course these are gut field evidence. This is something we make a judgment call on based upon our professional knowledge. If I'm concerned, I'll pull in a specialist and say, look, give me some condition monitoring on this machine, tell me where it is in its degradation curve and give us a more accurate value so I can get this figure fairly comfortably assessed. What this simply does is this risk cost or total risk cost is a dollar representation of the risk of these choices. I'll either spend that money there or lose that. It'll be one or the other. But to compare the three options, here's the sort of equivalent dollar situation for each of these three options. So here's another way to make the risk visual for managers. And this is, again, you'd sit down at a computer, operations guy, maintenance guy, and we start playing with scenarios. Now, what if scenarios? This money is real money, and now it depends upon how well we can manage our risk. Now, you might say, well, look, 50-50, no, too much risk. I don't want to do that. I'll give it to you next week. And so we plan for next week. I'm going to lose $50,000, but I'm not going to lose $317,000. Or I might say, you know what, that machine, I can derate that down to half capacity for the next 4 weeks. Take the stress off the parts right down low. Let's do that. Let's derate the machine, and to be sure that we don't lose it in that 4 weeks, let's condition monitor that every couple of days. Let's watch that curve. Let's see if that curve, let's see how fast that curve is falling. So every couple of days I'm going to go in there and check. Because if the curve begins to fall away very quickly, I want to pick it up fast and say, okay, no, we can't make 4 weeks. Let's plan it in for 2 days' time. So we're going to use all the things that we're allowed to use. We want to do those things. We want to do smart decisions. This is about making smart decisions. So I've got the matrix and I've got this risk cost calculator, both of which to me make things visible in dollars and cents and talks about what odds do you want to play with. 50-50, toss a coin. No, that's what it comes in, tossing the coin. Are we going to go 4 weeks or not? So now we're showing to production what really is the situation they're playing with. You're playing with serious money here. It all depends which way that coin falls. Or we don't take any risk, pay a bit more, but just don't risk losing a great amount of money. This is the real world. You know, it turns the real world into something that's black and white, financial decision making. And in PEW, dollars and cents always at the forefront. If there's no money in this, don't go there. Not worth it.